and welcome back to Lizzie in Disneyland. If you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, today is my full Mickey Memories collection. So before I begin, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell so that you always know when I've uploaded a video. So as you can see, the shelf there is empty because the Mickey Memories are next to me so that I can show you them all. Let's start with January. Now January is the only one I've forgotten to take his tag protector off. They are from Amazon and I will leave an affiliate link in the description box down below for you to check it out. They are little Polly Pockets and they are just a bit bigger than the tag, so there's a little bit of room for the tag to move around, but I've found it's the best thing to stop them from getting damaged. A few of my Mickey Memories do have slightly damaged tags, so keep watching to see which ones they are. So January was the first one. We did not realise how big this collection was going to be. Originally I said I would only get this one and I wasn't going to collect the rest, and look what's happened. So we got this one with little to no bother, I think. I'm going to leave a link to Gregory Gage's video down below, as he has little vlogs from each Mickey Memories Day to see how different each Mickey Memories Day has been as the collection has got more popular. And in January he said that the Oxford Street Disney store took a couple of weeks to sell out of this plush, which I cannot believe now, because on my Instagram a lot of people are saying that they are missing January and can't find January for a good price. But luckily I got him with no trouble. He's got some beautiful embroidery on him because he is a Steamboat Willie inspired plush. And my favourite thing about this is the quote on his foot. "I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse." Walt Disney. As you know, I love Walt, so I had to get this plush, and if I wasn't going to collect the rest of the collection I would have just had this plush. There is his stamp that says 1 of 12 and there is his tag. So this is January. You will see him towards the end of this video because I am going to give you my own personal ranking of all the plushes, so stay tuned for that. So here is February. February was inspired by the 1920s. I didn't actually like him that much and I did say to my mum, I won't get this one, and then she said, but what if you decide to collect them all? Because basically I think at the beginning of the collection we could only see up to May or April. You could only see a few of the plushes and what they look like, and then after that they only showed you a month before. So my mum said to me, what if you actually end up with 11 and the only one you don't have is this one? She said, get it now, and then if you don't get the full collection you could find a new home for this one. So that's what we did. To be honest, when he came I did fall a little bit more in love with him because I do quite like his material and I love this hidden Mickey print that's on his shorts. He is the Art Deco of the 1920s, which is perhaps why I wasn't a fan, because obviously I don't really follow the style of the 1920s, so it wasn't really something that appealed to me, but I am really glad that I've got him now. He doesn't have a quote. I really wanted every single one to have a quote. I did want to write a blog post of 12 quotes that I wanted on the feet, but I just couldn't think of ones that fit enough, so I think what they did was the right thing to do. So here is his stamp and here is his tag. There is some silver on here which I think is me. I must have left him by some nail varnish or something before I began putting them on plush stands. I'm not sure, but I'm so angry at myself, but I know he's only for me now, so it doesn't really matter. Next we've got March, my birthday month, and I believe this is when they finally decided that they were going to put a limit on the plushes. I can't remember when the 2 per person was instated, but I think after this month they had to put 1 per person, because basically People who wanted to put it on eBay were buying the maximum and then sending a member of their family in to get the maximum, and it was just hell. I wasn't going to the store at this point, but my mum was having a lot of trouble getting it online, and it was getting a lot harder to collect them basically. When I was still saying I wouldn't collect them all, I did say I definitely wanted my birthday month, even though I wasn't a massive fan of this print until I saw it in person. I think having the two different fabrics sold me on it, to be honest, because I like the mixture of textures on him. This one is inspired by the 1930s, but I do quite like the out there print. I would say this one is probably the most exciting print, shall I say. Not the best print, but it's the most in your face, I would probably say. So there is his stamp and there is his tag. Next we'll move on to April, and a very funny story about April. I was actually in Disneyland while this one was released, so what my mom had to do was wake up at 12 AM California time to be online for 8 AM England time to get the plush. We weren't going to be home by the time the plush got delivered, so it had to be delivered to my friend Amy at her workplace, so thank you Amy for helping out with that. I thought this would be the one that we wouldn't be able to get, but actually when you ask my mum about her experience buying them online, she tells you that this one was actually the easiest to get, despite the fact that we were in a completely different country. He did have to stay in the box for a few days while I still wasn't home, so his ears are a little bit bent. So if you have any tips and tricks to bend his ears back, please let me know in the comments, because I would be a lot happier with this plush if his ears weren't like that. This is a 1940s style plush. You can see he is inspired by the aviator jackets of the 1940s, and even though he is probably one of my least favourites in his look, I think that is mostly due to his ears, so I think I'm a bit unfair when I rank him later on. So here is his stamp and there is his tag. I can't remember the order that months go in anymore. Right, next one is one of my favourites, and it is May. I don't think we had much trouble ordering this, if I remember rightly, but what I do remember about May's is he actually arrived while we were watching the royal wedding, Harry and Meghan's wedding. So it was very nice to be having this special day with my mom watching the wedding, and then my plush arrived, so I got to hold him. I think I did want to pay for next day delivery and it didn't let me, so it came like the next day anyway, which I never understood, but I think it could have been because we got a bank holiday that weekend as well. I'm not entirely sure. So I really love May. He's 1950s. He's very space age, but for me personally, I thought he reminded me a lot of Disneyland, because Disneyland was open in 1955 and these colours were very prominent in their early marketing, so it just reminds me so much of Disneyland and I love it to pieces. He's definitely one of my favourites. His fabric is not as nice as I was expecting, but the colours make up for it, and as you can see he's got some hidden Mickeys. If you've read my blog posts, I showed you all of the hidden Mickeys that I had. So there is his stamp and there is his tag. Next up is one that caused us a lot of grief in our family, and that is June. So basically on the 18th of June I was on my way to Legoland with Joe, so I believe it was a Monday, and my mum rings me from work in floods of tears because he sold out online. I was telling her not to panic, I probably wasn't going to collect all 12 anyway, it's okay, calm down. I really hate hearing my mum upset, and I was fuming with Shop Disney and the whole process of getting the Mickey memories, and also just the people that were putting it on eBay and making it so difficult for us to get these, because in my opinion all that together is what made my mum cry, and I was so angry at these circumstances that made my mum cry. So I went to Legoland. It was in the back of my mind all day that I wasn't going to get all 12, but I had a really enjoyable day out at Legoland with Joe, and by the time I got home my mum had bought one off eBay. She paid a lot of money. I don't want to disclose how much money she paid, but I'm really glad she got me one. I wish she would have waited and paid a little less, especially since some stores did manage to get some back as people return them. But I'm still really grateful to my mum for helping me get all 12. So this one is 60s inspired, as you can see, with Love and Peace. I think he's one of the best done for a decade, if you ask me, because this is just so 60s. And there is his stamp. I think he has the best looking stamp. And here is his tag. Unfortunately, in getting this one from whoever we bought it from on eBay, the tag snapped, so we had to sellotape it back on. I believe this was the month that made me start buying these tag protectors. I do need some more, which is why I took them off these Plush to show you, because not every single one has a tag protector and I need to sort that out. The next was July. On July the 18th we were in Cornwall visiting my granddad. So I woke up that morning and my mum was crying again, because although she did get it online, the website did crash twice, because I think they just changed from the Disney Store UK to Shop Disney, and it's been very glitchy. Every release since, we've had trouble. They hide where it is, you have to find the proper search parameters that month to get him, and this was the month I decided that I would start going to store. So this is July. We ordered him in Cornwall and I think he arrived a couple of days after we got back. He is 70s inspired, and again I can see it. I had been watching that 70s show on Netflix at the time, and I can see the 70s vibe that it's giving off from watching that show. I love that he's in corduroy, and this print is very out there, much like March's, but I do like it. I'm just not a massive fan of the colour orange, which is why he isn't very high in my rankings that you will see at the end of this video. So here is his stamp and there is his tag. So the next month is August. So August was the first time that I went to the store. Obviously after the stress of July I said, look, I'm off that day, I will go to the store. My mum couldn't come with me because my mum was going to the Isle of Wight that day, so basically she woke up at 5 AM, she dropped me at the store, she stayed with me until I had friends there that I knew, and then she went to the Isle of Wight. She did try and get one online because I was nearing doing a giveaway on Instagram. I can't remember how many followers I had at the time, but we didn't manage to get one online because again they changed the search parameters from the month before. So I was sat in the queue, I had my friend Leanne with me, and I got a message from Lauren's Disney Collection saying we can see you. So I got to meet Lauren and Chelsea, who since then have become such great friends of mine, and I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't met them. I also got to see my friends Nate and Craig from Marvel at the Magic, and Jenny as well. I'm going to put a picture here of the August release. It was just such a good day and I felt like I could actually do this every month because the waiting wasn't actually that bad. All I noticed was that my bum hurt from sitting on the floor, so I started to take a cushion for the next ones. So this is August, who you just saw in that picture. He is the 80s, and even though I wasn't born in the 80s, even I know that the 80s was very black and gold. I really love his quilted design, and even though he's not that high up, I do still think he's beautiful. So there is his stamp, and there is his tag. Next was September. I can't remember why, but I didn't go to the store for September. I think I had work. And basically what me and my mum decided to do was we both went online at the same time, so we did end up with two. I did a giveaway with my second one over on my Instagram, so the other one did get a loving home. So September is definitely one of my favourites. It is inspired by the 90s, I was born in 1994, so I am a 90s baby, and I really loved this one. I love the sprinkles on his ears, I love the Saved by the Bell print here, and he's definitely one of my favourites. So there is his stamp and there is his tag. October, I could go to the store. If I remember rightly, it was a Saturday morning, but I'm not 100% sure. My mum came with me. We were getting the little gold plush as well. Only the little gold plush. I was going to get a little gold plush and so was she, so that I could do a giveaway with one. I think it was when I hit 3k, I'm not 100% sure, but I wanted to do a giveaway with the little gold plush, so mum was getting an extra. However, what the store manager did that day was he came out and showed everybody the big gold plush, because no one really knew how big it was going to be or the quality of it, so he showed us and my mum said you can have that as well. So my mum and dad bought me the big gold plush as well, and this is the October Mickey that I got. It was lovely to know that I was getting him. I suffer from anxiety, so the night before I'm always really worried and ill. But as soon as we get to store every month and I count that I will definitely get one, my stomach pains just go away, basically. So this was October Mickey. He is inspired by the noughties, so he's very Y2K, very Matrix. He does say mouse up here in his coding, and he does say Mickey somewhere as well. I did put it in my blog post if you want to check that out. But even though I'm not a massive fan of the colour green, I think it's been done really well and I really love him. Here is his stamp and here is his tag. I'm going to leave the picture of us outside the Disney store here so that you can see it. Of all the going to stores I did, there were 4 months that I went to store, and the hardest was definitely November. I did a whole vlog about it if you want to click up there. We didn't take any pictures outside the store because I basically had a panic attack inside the store. But I'm not going to talk about it on here because I want this to be a very positive video, so just watch the vlog I did to find out about that. So this is November's Mickey. I really love him. He's very boho chic for this decade, which I don't really see, but I don't follow fashion, so I'm not sure what the style is for this decade, if I'm honest. But I really love his material, I love his design, and I'm so glad I got him. Everyone was expecting the birthday one to be bigger and better, but I'm happy with all of them, and we had the extra gold Mickey in October as well. Everyone wondered why the October Mickey wasn't released in November, but obviously they'd already planned to give us the key, we just didn't know about it. So there is his stamp and there is his tag. His tag is a little bit bent, and for the life of me I don't know why, so I need to get a tag protector on him really quickly. Finally, the one you've all been waiting for. I didn't do a vlog this month because the other vlogs came with little hauls and I knew I wasn't going to buy anything else this month. So here is December's plush. He is so shiny, he is so holographic, he's got a really he squeaks when you touch him, and I just love how you get a little rainbow effect on his reflection. I'm so glad to have him, and to end the collection, this one says it's kind of fun to do the impossible. I personally would have preferred keep moving forward, as this one looks to the future, but I do really like that quote, and it is a Walt quote. So here is his stamp and here is his tag. So back in August I did another Mickey Memories collection video. I will leave the link up above, and in that video I said you would have to wait until December to see my definitive ranking of all 12. So I got December's plush on Monday, it is now Thursday, and I have been deliberating ever since Monday to give you my definitive ranking. I feel it's really unfair, but at the same time a lot of people are interested to know. So I'd just like to make a little disclaimer that I'm not saying I hate any of them. I love all of them. There are just some that I love more than others, and when I show you each one I will try and explain why they are as low or as high as they are. So this is not a reflection on the quality or anything like that. It's usually just the colour or the texture or how it arrived for me if I bought it online, but I hope you like that I've decided to rank them for you. If you have your own different ideas, let me know in the comments. It would be interesting to see how you would rank them. So I think number 12 is going to be February. 11 and 12 I keep switching in my head, but because I'm not a massive fan of this texture and the colour was too yellow for me, I would have to say that February is unfortunately number 12. He is still beautiful. He does look a lot better in person than the picture we were shown in January, but he's still not my most favourite plush of the collection. Number 11 would have to be April. Again, I kept going back and forth. I've always told people that February and April are my least favourite. I don't think the ear situation helps with April because I do think he's very well done. I do love that he's got this fighter pilot vibe to him, but he's not one of my favourites again. Very beautifully done, but not one of my favourites. Next we have July. Although I love the corduroy, the colours are just too out there for me. It is a very beautifully done plush, but I am not a fan of orange as a colour. I don't think I ever wear orange, and if I do, it isn't this garish, shall we say. So number 10 would have to be July. I was talking to my mum last night and I said that 7 to 9 keep changing, and now that I've done this video showing them all to you individually, 7 to 9 are changing again, which is quite frustrating. But for number 9 I'm going to go with October. Although I really love it and it's an era I was actually born for, I'm not a massive fan of the colour green. I think it's beautifully done. If there weren't more beautiful plushes, then he would be higher up. But for me, there are much more beautiful plushes in this collection. So number 9, unfortunately, is October. I feel like Lord Sugar at the minute. Like, it is with regret that number 8 is August. I loved August. He is the first one I actually got on release day. The colours are wonderful, but they are not colours I usually go for. I only wear silver jewellery, I don't wear gold jewellery, so I do stay away from things that are gold quite a lot. However, I do love this plush and I do love my 2 gold plushes. But as I said, unfortunately, August is number 8. Number 6 and number 7 have also changed because I was thinking about it very much, but what did it mean to me? When really I should be thinking of, do I like the look of them? So number 7 is March. Although March was my birthday month and I love this PVC type short thing, I wasn't a fan of the print, and I need to keep that in mind when I'm ranking these. I know this is my birthday month, but there is one that I prefer. So unfortunately, number 7 is March. Number 6 then has to be June. I really love that it's denim and tie-dye, and I love the ears. I think they summed up the 60s so perfectly, and it's a really lovely plush. Even though I have bad memories of having to get it, I still really love the plush, and that is what this ranking is about. It's which ones I like the look of the best. So June is number 6. We're almost at the end, guys. Here is my top 5. So number 5 is November. A lot of people didn't like this plush, but personally I really liked it. I really loved the colours. It reminds me a lot of coffee, and even though I don't drink coffee, I do really like the colours and the whole aesthetic that this plush has. So number 5 is November. This one will probably shock you quite a bit, but number 4 for me is December. Even though I love the quote and I did tell people he would be number 2, there are 2 plushes that I love and deserve to be in spaces 2 and 3. I do love this plush. I'm sure you've worked out which ones are going to be 2 and 3 now, so you can see why this one is number 4. So this was December. So number 3, I kept telling everyone it was my number 2, but one of them got released that pushed this down to number 3. So number 3 is May. I love the colours, I love that it reminds me of Disneyland, and it would be number 1, but I think you know what's coming for number 2 and number 1. So number 3 is May. So number 2 is September. September was my birthday decade, but that doesn't actually matter. What matters is that it looks beautiful. I think it's one of the best done plush, and I think it sums up the decade really, really well. Like, I get 90s vibes from this, so it doesn't matter that it was my birthday decade, it does look the best. But there is one that from the start has been number 1, and none of them topped it. I wasn't even expecting any of them to top it, and number 1 is January, the one that started it all. None of the others had this detailing of the embroidery. I did personally hope that there would be a Fantasia one similar, maybe for November, that had little embroidered Fantasia Mickeys, but that never happened. So January Mickey has always been and will always be my favourite Mickey plush. So that was my complete Mickey Memories collection and my own personal ranking of it. These opinions are entirely my own, but I would love to know your opinions in the comments. Please remember to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more Disney content. I also have an Instagram account that I am really close to hitting 4,000 subscribers on, so please check me out if you have Instagram. And also remember that I have a blog, lizzieindisneyland.wordpress.com. I will see you on Friday for my Disney Christmas plush collection. Have a brilliant week, and I will see you soon. Bye!